Hey, how y'all doing out there in video land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today I just got an update for y'all. On my Cold Steel SR1. Cold Steel SR1. And this goes for the new and the old models. They're both the same, people. They're both the same. So I would expect both of these have the same issue. And it was brought to my attention by one of you guys, and I went and checked it out. And it's previously brought to my attention by somebody else before in the past, and I went and checked out, and my knives didn't have an issue at that time. So I'm talking about this one. This is the one that I've always used. This is the one I've used. I have several SR1s, but this is the only one I've used. This is the new one, and this is the new one that's getting used. This one's sort of taking this one's place in, my heavy-duty folder usage, for like, when you see me doing my fireside videos, I'll be splitting wood and doing all that kind of stuff with this one. But the issue is not a major issue, people. It's just an annoying issue. I would call it more of an annoyance. And let me show you what it is. It has to do with the blade edge. Okay, here we go. Right there. Right there. Right there. And you can actually see it. There's like a little tiny ding in my blade right here. I'm going to mark it with the marker. And the reason why I'm going to mark it with the marker, because we're going to take it apart and see what it lands on. And that's what this video is all about. And I'm going to ask you guys if there's a way you think that we can modify that. Or did I miss it? I think I missed it, people. Hold on. Right there. Right about there. Okay. And the problem happened on this one too. I never, I've noticed this little nick before in this knife, but I thought it just came from me using it as a batoning tool. I've been batoning with this knife through wood for a long time, showing everybody that, how strong the triad lock is and how you can baton with it and stuff like that. But this is the knife I always use for that. And so I thought, it was probably just a little, nick in the blade that I got from batoning through something that hit hard. But no, it's not that. Okay. And the reason why I know is that I didn't baton anything with this one. But what I did do with this one is I swapped out the washers, because these come with just Teflon washers, people. They just have Teflon washers in them. And you know me, I like my phosphorus bronze washers and Teflon combo. And so I took the washers out of my 8015 that I modified with the skiff bearing kit from Original Goat. And I still kept the washers. And I put it in this one. They fit perfectly. Put it all back together. And I started fidgeting with it because it, all of a sudden it's like, it really likes to fidget. And so right now I have it super tight, people. I have it super tight because what I discovered is that when I opened and closed it, especially like if I'm doing like I do with my my 8010s, where I just use it from here. Like I'll show you an example what I'm talking about. On the 8010, on the 8010s, you can do this. You can just press down on the lock bar and release the blade. It's no wrist action or anything. Just press down on the lock bar and it releases the blade. And you can go from there and give it a little bit of wrist action and go. And that's what I was trying to do with this one, because you can hold it in pretty much the same position. Let me see if I can get it to do it. And you can release it. It's a little bit harder because this spring is a little bit tougher than a little bit stronger than the spring on the 8010s. But I discovered when I was flipping it back and forth, eventually, boom, I got a ding. I got a ding right about in here somewhere, the exact same spot as right here. I took it, I did what I did. I'm showing you guys right now. I already did this on this one. I took it apart and I figured out where it was hitting. And you can't tell where it's hitting either. So that's another thing too. You can't tell where it's hitting because where it's hitting, it doesn't really leave a mark. It's not hitting on anything soft. It's hitting on hardened steel, people. What's hardened steel in here? The lock bar. So that's what I'm going to show you guys. That's what I'm going to show you guys. And this one, I resharpened it. I went ahead and resharpened it. Put my polished edges on it. And so now it's, it's back to being super sharp. So no issues no more. But I'm not going to use this one like a fidgeter, people. That's sort of the message I want to put out. This is not going to be a fidgeter for me. All I'm going to use this one for is for heavy duty use. Even though, I really love this knife, I wish it could be a good fidgeter. Unless one of you guys come up with an idea for me how I can fix this issue, it's not going to be a fidgeter. So this one's going to get removed from my rotation drawer. It's going to go in my heavy duty folder drawer or my motorcycle folder drawer. It's still going to get used this year. It's not going in the safe. It's still going to get used. But it's not a fidgeter. So it can't be in the fidgeting drawer. It can't be in the rotation drawer. Even though as much as I love it and everything else like that, that little issue right there, makes me not want to fidget with it. Because I'm going to have to keep repairing the blade and have to keep, resharpening the blade and grinding it down to the point where you remove the ding. Okay, let me see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my weehaws. Let's take this one apart. I'm going to show you where it hits. Need a T15 and a T6. Weehaw tools, people. I highly recommend these weehaws. I'm really digging these. The tips hold up really well. I mean, the bits hold up really well. They haven't even started to, round off or anything yet. I've been using them a lot. But one of the secrets, though, is that, maintaining your knives is that you don't torque things down super tight and don't use Loctite unless you have to use Loctite. Only use Loctite on things that come loose. Don't use Loctite on things that don't come loose. It's like these screws, they don't have any Loctite on them at all. Don't need Loctite on them. These screws don't come loose. Fine thread screws that are long like this, they don't come loose. So you don't need to use Loctite on them. So it makes it easy to constantly pull your knife apart if you have to do maintenance on it. Get a little pry tool. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to see where this hits. So I'm going to put this liner back on, this partial liner. I'm putting the pivot screw back in there just to make sure everything stays together. Okay, see where this mark is? Well, maybe it'd be better if I put it on the other side, huh? Okay, hold on. Trying to see right where that little divot is. Right there. Right about there. Okay, let's see where it closes at. See where it's hitting? Now let's take off the lock bar. I mean, off the and you can see. And notice on this one that the torsion spring wasn't pushed all the way back. I'm pushing all the way back to see if it still hits. Still not all the way back. All the way back to in. All the way, I'm pushing this all the way back. The torsion spring. Make sure it's all the way back. Yeah, that's like super close, people. And even with this, you know, this your blade stop pin right here. Even when you push this up a little bit, it's still really close. So, what do I suggest for that? That's what I'm going to ask you guys. What do you suggest? I know you can take down the edge a little bit, and so to have more clearance, but I really hate doing stuff like that because I don't want to make the edge, you know, a whole lot less than it is. I'm going to keep things, you know, like the way they're supposed to be. I'm just going to do this again. Make sure I got the right spot. Right there. Right here. It's not, on my knife, it's like a real faint spot. You know, I'm sure, you know, maybe other people, they you know, on this one, it was a little bit bigger ding because I think it was because I was slamming the blade back and forth. But this one has just been a little faint spot because I didn't use this one I didn't use this knife like a fidgeting knife. This knife was just used for wood processing. It's really faint. Doesn't really mess with the edge all that much. Right there. Yep. So it's hitting right here, people. It's hitting on this spring. Now, I don't know how you could change that, you know, because maybe if it had a spring that was set a little bit lower, or the other way I could see to change it is to the blade stop, the internal blade stop pin, if it was a little bit thicker. I'm trying to move everything out the way here, people. If this blade stop, the internal blade stop pin, if this was a little bit thicker, it would raise the blade up a little bit. It would raise the blade from being down here to like maybe up here. And that little bit of clearance might make a big difference. So if the blade stop was like right about there. But still be close though, people. It's just the way that this fitment is on this one. I think they should try to figure this out where the spring won't hit. And that's a hardened piece of steel, has to do with your lock bar torsion spring. So, and it doesn't even leave a mark on the lock bar. I don't even see a mark on the lock bar. So this must be really hardened steel. It's harder than that. It's tempered at a hardness that's probably harder than the blade actually is. That's the reason why it's not leaving any kind of marks or anything. You guys see any marks? I don't see any marks. And that's why I've always thought it was coming from the my batoning and stuff. On this one, I didn't baton with it. And this one doesn't have any marks either, people. Let me pull this one apart too so you can see what this one looks like. I know the videos are probably starting to get a little bit long, but I want to explain this. I want people to help me try to figure out a solution for it because I really love the SR1, people. And I'm going to continue to use it regardless. I still love this knife. Because, it's one heavy duty, badass blade, But it does have an issue. Like a lot of things, though, a lot of things are not perfect, people. Just the way life is. As much as we want everything to be perfect, it doesn't always work out that way. You just got to learn how to deal with what you got. Don't worry about what you don't have. Deal with what you do have. All right. Okay, as you can see, I put the phosphorus bronze washers on this one with the Teflon washer on the inside. That's how I swapped this one over because I was going to turn it into a fidgeting knife, people. And this one, you can't see where it was hitting either. At least I can't. But I know it was hitting like in the same spot. So, the problem, what I'm pointing out, it might be kind of hard to detect. So a lot of people might have these knives be having this problem and they get a little nick in their blade and they look inside and they don't see any nicks on any internal parts, so they don't think that's what's causing it. But what I think what's happening is that the leaf spring steel is it's just like a lot harder steel than tempered at a lot harder steel rate or HRC rate than the blade steel. And so it doesn't leave a mark because it's too hard. And that's why it only takes, for this blade to just touch it and it gets a little ding in the blade. That's what I think is happening, people. I may be wrong. I don't know everything. I'm just going by, the experiences that I have. And I try to share them with everybody. That's what I'm all about. I just try to share my experiences with everybody. I'm not the, the one all be all know all on anything. I'm just sharing my experiences and what my conclusions are. But me, myself, I absolutely love the SR1. I'm going to continue to recommend it because I think it's a great knife. I think it's an awesome knife. But I just got to let y'all know about that little issue. If your blade getting dinged on the leaf spring will bother you, then maybe this is not the one for you. But this one still is a great one, is exactly what it's supposed to be, a survival rescue knife. And it's super heavy duty, and you can still do the job, people. One little ding in the blade is not going to keep it from completing a mission. But the ding only happens like, I don't know, with me, it only happened when I was fidgeting with it. So this is not a fidgeter. And that's okay. Not everything has to be a fidgeter. Not everything has to be a fidgeter. But, you know, I do love my fidgeters. All right, let's put this bad boy back together. Finger tight. That's all I do, finger tight. So just something to know. I'm going to be doing another video, and it's going to be on 3.5-inch blades. 3.5-inch blades. That'll be the next video I'll be doing today. And so, if you're interested in that, that'll be coming up next, people. But I had to put this out there. I had to let people know. I had to let people know. That's how I do, people. Let you guys know. If I come across something, I will definitely let you guys know. Maybe I should put the washer on first, huh? Don't want to pinch the washer. These SR1s are awesome, though. My opinion is that if you're using this knife for what it's meant for, it's awesome. I think this would be an awesome soldier's knife, law enforcement, military, construction worker, anybody, you know, needs a heavy duty knife or can take advantage of a heavy duty knife. This is what this one's all about. I think this is an awesome knife to keep in your glove box for emergency purposes. They make a budget model of this one too, the 88 CR MOV, was a 13 MOV blade, you know, Chinese blade steel. But it's thick just like this one though, so, you know, an 8CR is probably about like Oz 8. It's not a great steel or anything like that, but, you know, for a survival knife, emergency knife, you know, something you just keep in your glove box and forget about, I think it's an awesome knife. And you can get them for like 30 bucks, 39 bucks, under 50 bucks. So I highly recommend those too. These right here, you usually get them in between, I don't know, if you catch them on sale, sometimes you get them those $100. That's how I got mine. This one I got for 70 bucks. You know, through special deals and discounts and all that kind of stuff. From Cold Steel, directly from Cold Steel. The Cold Steel website. And this is an awesome knife, people. These are awesome knives. The SR1, I highly, highly recommend the SR1. Like I said, here's my piece of paper. Always got to clean up your blade. Razor. I love the SR1, people. This one, even with the ding in it, will still cut. And this the ones I've used for batoning and stuff. It's never been fully resharpened. See, there's where the ding is. See that? You saw it hit the ding, didn't you? Right there, that's the ding. So it's actually a little bit lower. It's right there. Now that's still on the springs, people. That's still on that torsion spring. All right. So I probably will resharpen this one too. Get it, you know, get it like this one, and then I just won't fidget with it. that's the way I'm going to deal with that issue, people. I still think it's an awesome knife for heavy duty use. I still highly recommend it. SR1 is still one of my favorite heavy duty knives. But I'm going to take it out my rotation drawer because my rotation drawer, I like to have knives I can fidget with. And that's the reason why it's getting removed from the rotation drawer, even though it just got put in there just recently. It is getting removed. And it's going to get replaced with the one you're going to see in the next video. Next video. We got an unboxing and discussion in the next video, people. But these are my SR1s. And I absolutely love this one, people. I absolutely love it. I highly, highly recommend it. I highly recommend this one. I love the clip, the Bowie blade. This is a super strong, super thick. It's just a badass blade, people. I just really love it. And the grip in this, it's just like, it's got grip all over the place. I got all sorts of room to grip this knife. And it's super comfortable. And I could tell that if you're wearing gloves, you know, like if you're an operator, mercenary, soldier, military person, law enforcement, what have you. I could tell that if you had to wear gloves with this one, it'd be perfect. I think this is a great knife for a soldier. I think they ought to make these in DLC coating, and I think they ought to fix the clearance problem on the blade, so I can fidget with it. I want one big enough so I want one of these I can fidget with. So I want Cold Steel to fix that. That's one reason why I'm putting this out there too, because I want Cold Steel to be aware of it. I'm gonna contact Cold Steel and let them know about it. I'm not gonna return this knife. It's not an issue that's so big that makes me want to return a knife. It's just that, you know, you have to be aware of it, and so don't slam the blade back and forth like if you want to fidget with it hard or whatever. You know, like you see me doing with, you know, with mine. You can't treat it like that, people. You'll get dings in your blade. That makes me like this one even more, though. The 8010. It makes me even like it even more because it is made to be handled any kind of way you want to handle it. Demko design. This one's a Demko design too, though. But, you know, it's a Cold Steel Demko design. The 8010 is came from his custom shop originally. All right, people. But anyway, let's move on to the next video. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Peace. Stiletto.